Technology itself is currently evolving. With how fast it's going, it's only a matter of time before we begin to mix flesh and tech. Like these two. Rex Salazar, the evil warrior of Providence, and Cyborg, the leading member of the Teen Titans. I make these and it's my job to go over their origin and skills to see who would win in this episode of The Debate Club. Years ago, scientists began creating microscopic organisms called nanites, said to help humans combat diseases and starvation. So like nanobots that maintain the body. Sounds familiar. But not everyone saw nanites as a way to better humanity, but instead decided to use them to try to take over the world. And instead of talking things through like adults, the scientists decided to just nuke the whole lab into smithereens, causing the nanite event. From that moment, every living being on Earth was infected with nanites. How ironic, what was once made for the benefit of humanity is now a pandemic, turning humans and other living beings into monsters called Evos. To combat this, an anti-Evo organization was made to contain or kill hostile Evos. And what better way to fight Evos than with one of their very own, Rex Salazar. But you probably know him as Generator Rex. Rex was your typical 10-year-old when he was caught in a freak accident that left him within an inch of his life. But thanks to a convenient batch of controlled nanites, he was cured from his injuries, alongside being one of the few Evos able to control his own nanites. The nanites give him the ability to transform his body into any type of machine he can think of. He can turn his body mechanical and create giant fists, swords, and a launcher. He can create propellers to fly sky high, but if the ground is more to his liking, he can turn into a hover bike. Hell, this guy's basically a souped up Inspector Gadget. Go Gadget, giant stomping feet! Along with physical powers, Rex can somehow communicate with technology and can even control them. He can straight up reprogram tech, and thanks to his technopathy, he can even hack into foreign technology and instantly understand them after just a glance. He can even hear technology. How does that work? Have you ever heard of a microwave? I mean, you're not wrong?
Wouldn't you?
Just how the nanites healed Rex from his accident, they also granted him a healing factor that can repair any injury he's taken in battle, as well as making him immune to poisons. And in extreme situations, they can even control his own body to protect him without him even being aware. It can deactivate any foreign tech planted in him. Hell, even if you manage to break a part of him off, he can just make more, or replace damaged parts with new ones almost instantly. All these powers, and the trade-off, a classic case of amnesia. However, none of those skills would mean anything if he wasn't properly trained. Ever since he became an Evo, Rex was trained by the organization Providence, courtesy of Agent Smith and a monkey man. Despite all that, Rex felt cooped up. I mean, he is a teenager after all, and only being sent out for missions is exhausting. All work and no play makes Rex a dull boy. But surprisingly, no matter how many times he runs away, he always comes back. Is this loyalty? Or a sense of duty to save those infected Evos? I mean, when you're basically the only one who can cure a worldwide epidemic, all that responsibility would take a toll on a teenager, which may cause the nanites to malfunction and stop working altogether. I mean, it's not all that bad. Thanks to Providence, Rex was given some helpful tools like his power suit that helps boost his already crazy power, and an even stronger string of nanites. The Omega nanites help Rex by adding more power, more weapons, and it helps Rex stay alive, like how it jump-started his heart back to normal. And it sometimes works on its own will, always seeming to know what Rex needs in any situation. It can even transform Rex into his full Omega form. Bigger, stronger, and way more destructive, Rex's full Omega form was powerful enough to defeat a giant mech who was the combination of 5 other Evos. He's taken on Van Kleist, who is an Evo who could control many forms of plant life, and even Ben 10. You know, that one kid with an alien device that sucked itself upon its wrist with secrets that it hid? I mean, he's no ordinary kid after all. He's quick enough to dodge automatic fire and even lightning. He once flew from Earth to space in a matter of seconds. The fastest rocket to ever reach orbit was able to make the trip in under 13 seconds. That's over 17,000 miles per hour. Rex made the same trip in under 3 seconds. That's well over 74,000 miles per hour. That's over 97 times the speed of sound. Here he's seen dive bombing a building-sized Evo and creating this huge shockwave. Judging by the shockwave and how far it traveled across the whole city, I can estimate that the force needed to hit that monster was somewhere around 100 tons of TNT. Hey, did you do a death battle? You know what? Yeah. Rex was once able to stop a space elevator from falling, which would take an equivalent of about 86 trillion tons of force. He's fought Ben 10's Humongousaur, Cannonball, and Wrath, which are all powerhouses in their own right. Speaking of which, Rex's hacking is powerful enough to mess with the Omnitrix. You know, the alien watch that houses some of the strongest aliens in the universe? Hell, even when he was trapped in a prison specifically made to contain him, he was able to escape by hacking the security camera monitoring him. Suffice to say, there's nothing Rex can't hack, and his control over all things nanite increased when he was revealed to be in possession of the Meta Nanite. The Meta Nanites are 5 extremely powerful nanites created to control the Dominion Code. Basically, they were able to control the fabric of the entire universe. So basically, whoever controls them becomes the god of nanites. And surprise, it turns out that Rex was set from the start because the Meta Nanites were already programmed to only obey Rex.
Rex, listen to me. The Meta Nanite, it could never work in anyone but you. Not in its pure state. Mom and Dad, we programmed it that way from the very beginning. All of this, it's meant for you.
And with the power to basically do whatever he wants, Rex made only one command: to shut off every single nanite in the world, putting an end to the nanite pandemic and returning the world back to normal. But he's not perfect. He's no stranger to having his nanites turn against him. Despite Rex being able to control all nanites, they're still very unpredictable and can even cause Rex to lose control, and he is susceptible to being controlled by other nanite users. Let this be a reminder that despite being an ass-kicking superhero, he's still a kid. But in the end, Providence was right. Best way to beat an Evo is with an Evo of their very own. Granted, an Evo with god nanites. Rex became more than just a soldier. He became a hero.
I'm Rex. Now thrill me.
When there's trouble, you know who to call. Teen Titans! Oh man, the Teen Titans are awesome! And the best part of Cartoon Network back in the day. This 5-man team of super adolescents protected the town of Jump City by uniting their own unique set of skills and powers. You got the bad son-in-law Robin, the Tamaranian powerhouse Starfire, the shape-shifting feature creature Beast Boy, and the mysterious and every young boy's emo crush Raven. And then you got your half-man, half-robot Cyborg.
Alright, I'm only gonna say this once. Booyah!
Victor Stone was your everyday high schooler. He was top of his class and a star athlete. Who wouldn't be proud of him? Well, his name was Sylvester Stone, and he wanted nothing more than his son to join him in the field of science. No more sports ball, son. Only science. Despite his father's wishes and being a genius in his own right, Victor only ever wanted to be an athlete. So suffice to say, there were some differing opinions. One day after Pops missed one too many football games, Vic and his dad had a falling out. Should have picked a better place to argue. You know, other than a library with experimental and dangerous tests. But I guess hindsight is 20/20. Not wanting to lose his only son, Victor was rebuilt, using only the most advanced tech available. Victor was rebuilt, stronger, faster, and shinier. He became a cyborg. Despite the successful resurrection and transforming into an awesome ass-kicking cyborg, Victor wasn't all too pleased about having his whole life change. I mean, for one, it means that no more sports, so dear old dad got his way in the end. Bummer. But at least now he can become a superhero. So with cybernetic advancements, his already period athleticism was doubled, making him pretty much better than your average man, and more. His advanced technology allows Cyborg to shift his body into basically any weapon he needs. From swords to guns, there's nothing he can't make, but his all-time favorite is definitely cannons. These cannons can shoot electricity, ice, lasers, and even supersonic waves. And you know he's using his oh-so-memorable catchphrase. But his power doesn't just pertain to smashing things and blowing stuff up. His tech can also help him hack into basically anything that's considered technology. Whether it's every single computer in the world, or even Kryptonian technology. Hell, he's even hacked into a lantern ring. You know, the one ring that can create basically anything. And all this hacking can be done by just a single thought. Dude's got some gamer Wi-Fi. Man, this tech is insane. But what's more insane is his ability to assimilate with practically anything considered technology. That's how he was able to take control of the Mother Box, technology used by gods of the DC universe. With these, he can open up boom tubes, which are essentially portals that can cross dimensions and even change the size of what passes through. Similar to how the new god and DC's Golem Tyrant, Darkseid, uses them to change his size. You would think with all that tech on his side, his body wouldn't be able to handle all the processing power. I mean, my computer can barely handle Minecraft shaders before exploding. He's fast enough to reach the watchtower in under 4 minutes. That's a satellite that floats around the Earth's orbit. To reach that, the amount of time needed would have to be around 930 miles per hour. That's over the speed of sound. And his reaction time is matched to that of the Justice League supercomputer that can calculate things up to the attosecond, the fastest possible time that humans can perceive. He's strong enough to take hits from powerhouses like Shazam and Mammoth. His boom tubes are even large enough to eclipse an entire planet. He's strong enough to tear down this dam with only a couple hits. And then there's the time he swung this building like a bat. Talk about a home run. This is a 4-story building, and measuring all this, the determined amount needed to do all this would be around 48 trillion tons of force. If Cyborg was to take damage, and say, lose an entire limb, he could simply assimilate other metals and repair himself back good as new. Hell, this guy's been torn apart multiple times, only to repair himself. And then there's the time he hacked the dark web. Hey, do you think he used NordVPN? No. No advertisements. I wonder, do all these powers and abilities run on a battery? Well, in the past, yeah. Cyborg is vulnerable to power outages, and there are times where his own tech was used against him. But throughout his time of ass-kicking and being the world's first bionic superhero, Cyborg was able to balance his human and tech to becoming a hero worthy of being promoted from the Teen Titans to joining the Justice League and even more superhero teams. You can't get any better than the Cerulean Teen Titan himself. You can rest assured that when he's on patrol, he'll be there with a blast and a booyah!
I don't need you to make me a man. I already am one.
Alright, it's time! Both combatants are ready and it is time to put the debate to rest.
Rex, keep an eye out. We heard there's an Evo. We advise you to approach with caution. Did you hear what I said? I said to be—
Found it.
Rex, wait!
Professional Evo Buster. At your service.
I know Evo. And you ain't busting anyone.
Now I know. The hard way.
What the hell are those things? Some sort of nanomachines? Good to know.
My nanites? So that's how it's gonna be. Okay then. Thrill me! Hey! That's my ride! What the—
Sorry about that. Let me pay you with this.
Not so fun when you're the one being hacked, huh? Now it's my turn. Hey, que buen portal! It's mine now!
Control me!
What the fuck? What the fuck?
You won't go down, huh? Well, I'll just assimilate everything!
Assimilate this!
Well, you can say that this fight was a blowout. I'm gonna die alone. In what might be the trickiest matchups to figure out, both Rex and Cyborg had different ways to take the win here. For example, Cyborg's superior intelligence and training would allow him to formulate far more trickier strategies to outwit Rex. On the other hand, Rex's talent with technology and instant understanding of whatever text he comes up with means that Rex can keep up and even surpass whatever Cyborg can throw at him. Both are more than capable of hacking one another. Cyborg's hacking of the Lantern Ring means he would have no trouble taking control of, say, the Meta Nanite, for example. It's not out of the question, but the same could be said about Rex. Hell, Rex didn't even need to hack things. When he hacked the Omnirex, he just pumped nanites into it until it started bugging out. In terms of strength and durability, both Rex and Cyborg can deal insane amount of damage in their fights. However, in terms of patching each other up, Rex's nanites are far more reliable since they're constantly creating new ones within his body. Hell, even if Cyborg was to hack Rex's nanites, Rex can just make new ones and even convert them back to his side. I mean, it's kinda what he's been doing this whole series anyways. This fight really boiled down to two big points. who can hack the other first, and who can do it more reliably. And this is our definitive answer. While Cyborg can hack with just a thought, that means he would have to concentrate into hacking. Kinda hard to do that when getting hacked yourself. While on the other hand, Rex doesn't even need to think about hacking with his nanites, since they can work independently and he can just pump them into Cyborg. And he can do this every time he makes contact with them. Sure, Cyborg could resist them for a time, but the constant barrage of nanites and Rex's versatile and impressive offense meant that his defenses would eventually falter. Just pump him full of nanites and voila, no more Cyborg. Not to mention, in terms of speed, Rex has him beat, so he can realistically blitz him and wear him out. And even without the whole hacking debate, Rex's far more versatile arsenal and more damage-dealing potential would mean that he can match Cyborg's experience. I mean, the guy literally fought 5 other Evos who were meant to convert him. Hell, in his God mode, Rex can bend the laws of space to his will, so he can just nullify any and all attacks Cyborg can dish out. Sure, Cyborg can use his boom tubes to, say, teleport Rex to the sun or something, or he could hack Rex's more powerful nanites from the get-go. Those are really specific circumstances, and we're looking for who can take the win more often than not. But if you want a comparison to their hacking capabilities, let's look at their most impressive feats. Cyborg hacking every computer in the world, and Rex shutting off all nanites. If we were to highball all the world's computers, cell phones, and any other tech used, we can use the world's census as a base and go from there. There are about 7 billion people on Earth, and typically every household has at least one computer, TV, phone, and console, etc. So if we were to highball that at minimum, Cyborg would be able to hack well over 30 trillion electronics at once. Now let's look at Rex shutting off all the nanites. Now, we know nanites are microscopic, so let's compare them to, say, blood cells, as they also behave in similar ways. You know, aside from mutating people, every human has an average of 3 million blood cells on averaging from both male and female bodies, since we know that after the nanite explosion, every living being was infected with nanites. Keep in mind I'm lowballing this as by not including plants and animals. If every person has nanites and there are 7 billion people on averaging on Earth, then, at that moment, Rex was in control of 21 quadrillion nanites. That absolutely dwarfs Cyborg's feat. And that's not even including plants and animals. Rex's God mode can blink and Cyborg would be no more. Now, Cyborg has resisted assimilation, hacking, and mind control on multiple occasions, but against someone like Rex, it's only prolonging the inevitable. Cyborg may be smarter and more experienced of the two, but in the end, Rex's far versatile arsenal and form, faster speed, and greater supply of nanites helped him send Cyborg to the scrap heap. You can say that Cyborg got Rex. The winner is Rex Salazar, Generator Rex.
Incoming! Alright, who's next?